And now to our next conversation. With over 2 trillion naira in circulation outside the banking vault, according to the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, how can the existing strategy for financial inclusion be optimized? What role does virtual cards, or do virtual cards play? We have Ademola Okuleyin, our head of SMEs at Cellulant Nigeria, joins us now for this conversation. Great to have you on the program.
Thank you very much, Ladi. Thank you for having me this morning.
Yeah, so one of the hottest topics right now is the CBN's plan to redesign some denominations of the Naira. How does this fit into the, virtual card space?
Okay, I'll start by just giving you an overview of what a virtual card actually is. A virtual card is just basically the digital version of a traditional plastic credit or debit card. They contain the same card details as their physical counterparts, like your card number, expiration date, and of course the CVV code on the back of your card. But there's, in terms of the virtual card, while transacting on the virtual card, you don't actually need a physical card to swipe or put into a card reader like your regular POS terminals are available out there. So it's just a digital form of that, but the interesting part of it is that there's a security feature whereby when you go onto a merchant's website, you don't have to actually put in your card details. So your card details are not stored, so it gives you that extra comfort of security while transacting from your place. So that's basically what a virtual card is. So, but in terms of how it fits into the CBN's redesigning of the Naira. Basically, the redesign of Naira has a lot of benefits. Actually, part of it is financial inclusion and, of course, improved adoption of digital payments. So with the virtual cards, you don't actually need you don't need cash. You don't need access to cash while transacting. So it helps in terms of CBN's long-term growth of actually putting a lot of monies back into financial institutions. So this would actually aid CBN's goal to have a cashless economy and also drive financial inclusion.
But how impactful is it really for, financial inclusion? Because we know the unbanked to still have a huge, portion of the unbanked at this time.
Okay, so financial institutions would be forced to actually improve in terms of account creations for the financially excluded individuals of the country. Because the impact of virtual cards basically is it helps the government in a situation where there's an emergency, like what happened during the COVID, and the government wanted to actually provide COVID relief. It would have been easier if the targeted people had virtual accounts. So all they need to do is just fund those virtual accounts, and those people have access to funds to do that. So it's something that if the financial inclusion policy or the process is improved, virtual cards would be a good source of payments for government welfare schemes, that they have quite a number of them. So instead of cash distribution that has been happening, there's no accountability for that. But where individuals and citizens have access to funds from the government, it improves financial inclusion when you know that you need to have this kind of account for you to benefit from government welfare schemes.
And it looks like it mostly benefits, online, transactions, talking about virtual cards now. No added advantage, maybe if I want to go to an ATM and somehow just, input my details and somehow my virtual card can come into play, on an ATM. Is there any kind of, development coming in that direction?
Oh, yes. Virtual cards, yes, mainly for online transactions, but the offline option is there, whereby you even walk into a store and you have your virtual card on our app. You've downloaded the app, you've created the card. In creating the card, you have immediate access to the card, and the card is ready to use. So it's cost effective. You don't have to actually walk into a bank and do the process. But in terms of what you said, there's the offline version where some shops, or not just shops, retailing outlets give options, loyalty schemes where they create virtual cards for their customers, and these virtual cards can be used in store. So the offline version is actually available for virtual cards.
All right, but how quickly are MSMEs adopting, digital payments at this time?
Okay, in terms of digital payments, consumer behavior has changed. So for you to succeed as an SME, you definitely have to adopt payment. So the adoption has improved astronomically, which is, of course, post-COVID. A lot of SMEs were not prepared for this, and as a result, those that did not move quickly lost a lot of income. So post-COVID, we've had that enlightenment, and the adoption rate has been quite synonymous, quite outstanding, sorry. In Africa, there are over 100 million SMEs operating out there, and just less than 5% are digitized. But because of consumer behavior now, SMEs are forced to adopt digital payments. So the acceptance has been quite phenomenal in Nigeria.
And, in recent months, cardholders have faced poor network connectivity, transaction failures that take weeks or months to even resolve. What would you say is the solution to this?
Okay, it's basically infrastructure. There's a lot of investment into e-commerce infrastructure, but we're still far behind in terms of that. You see a lot of SMEs going through downtime. Sites are quite slow when you're trying to do transactions. Then the security of your cards are not as transparent as you want to be. So yes, there are a lot of issues around this, but it's basically infrastructure. But if you can see recently, a lot of e-commerce businesses are investing a lot in e-commerce, and this is giving opportunity for a better, in terms of services, and customer delight is actually improving as a result of this investment.
What about the risk of hacks? We know the online environment, we have hackers all over the place attempting to compromise your account, in any way that they can. How safe are virtual cards?
Okay, so virtual cards are quite safe compared to your physical card. One of the key additional securities that you have on virtual card is, if I go onto the website of any e-commerce business, unlike the physical card, I don't have to impute my card number. So what happens is, every time you transact using your virtual card, there's a unique account number that is created just for that transaction. So obviously, by the time you're done using that transaction, it expires. So there's no harvesting of information. That's why the virtual card has that added security advantage over the physical plastic card. And also the limits, both for FX and Naira, are quite flexible.
All right, so what are you seeing going forward, for adoption, virtual cards in Nigeria?
Okay, one of the things that boosts the adoption, obviously, is CBN's recent policy redesigning the Naira. And the next 100 days is going to be a bit chaotic, both for consumers and owners of business. So when you know that, at the end of the day, as a business person, you know that, okay, in the next 100 days, there's going to be a change in the Naira. Why still lay a lot of emphasis on cash collection? So obviously, the quick move to digitization of transactions also lead in improved adoption of virtual cards, because why would I want, knowing fully well what's going to happen, why do I need to go to the ATM to withdraw cash to do a payment? So we'll see a lot of activities with regards to virtual cards in the next coming weeks and months. All
right, we'll keep watching and see, how adoption grows, going forward, for virtual cards. Thank you so much. That was Ademola Okuleye, Head SME Sales, Cellulant Nigeria Limited. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much for having me today.